Oh, there you are. Today, I'd like to talk about some 5 keys to success for small business owners. And one of the keys, really, it's all about staying focused. Today's world is so fast-paced, and we get so many distractions and so many demands put upon us that if you own a small business, you're a network marketer, entrepreneur, coach, or something like that, that your focus and your concentration can be taken away in a heartbeat. So I would just like to share with you 5 key things that, when mastered and applied consistently, will help you with your focus. Now, the first one is something that is so basic, and everyone will say, yes, I do that, but most people don't. Any research I've done shows that anywhere between 85 and 95% of people do not do this, and this is setting clear goals. The art of goal setting is something that needs to be practiced. Many people write down what they want. I want to make $20,000 this month, or I want to lose 5 pounds this month, or I want to get a relationship with that person, or I want to get an account with XYZ company, whatever the case may be. However, that's just a wish, that's a desire, that's some focus, but it's not enough focus. It's not setting a clear goal. Now, there's a lot of steps for setting goals beyond just the SMART. Most of us know the SMART, the acronym SMART for achieving goals, and I cover that in another session, and it's also on my webpage, managemymojo.com. However, we need to set clear and specific goals if we want to have success in our business. Now, when we set the goal, we also have to have a clearly defined objective, and then we kind of work it back. So we say within a period of time, this is the specific outcome I would like. Now you work back, what are the steps to get to that goal? So you work those steps back, and they're written down, and what you need to do for each of those steps. So it's like a waymark if you're sailing, or a milestone if you're driving, or a checkpoint if you're going from A to B. And you need to have that clear roadmap, just like in your GPS system, of how to get from A to B, where you are now to the actual goal itself in your business. Now, having done that, if you've written that down and you've got it all clear, often people still focus on the goal. Then you kind of let go of that goal. Just let it go. It's gone. Poof. And then you follow the daily actions or weekly actions, whatever the actions are. And all you have to do to measure yourself and your accomplishments is, are you achieving those daily actions? Don't look at the end goal. Achieve the daily actions that you planned on a consistent basis, and measure that and adjust that as needed, and then you will get to the goal. Focus on the goal and you'll be bypassing those daily actions. So if you're driving and you're using a GPS, you follow the directions. Turn right at the end of the road, turn left at the end of the road, and 100 yards do a U-turn. Whatever the case is, you're following those small distinct steps, and you do them all while you're looking at your map and while you're listening to those directions in your car. You are not looking at your destination. You know that if you follow those, you will get to your destination. And that's the discipline that we need in setting goals for our business, so that we can stay focused. Another consideration, or the second consideration, is time management. Now, here's the thing. People talk about effective time management being a cornerstone of focus, being a cornerstone of business, and being a cornerstone of productivity. We often create daily schedules, or schedule if you're in my English audience, and there's all sorts of other techniques that we can do. However, when we make that schedule, it needs to include all of the steps that we had for the goals. So when you go to your calendar or your schedule setter or whatever program or app it is that you use, you need to put down those steps that you had for your goals. So it starts with your goals, then you take those steps and you put them on your planner. That's part of your time management, because your planner really is a plan for managing your time. But you don't manage your time in reality. You manage yourself. So if you put down, make 3 phone calls to XYZ company, in your planner at 10 o'clock, and at 10 o'clock you make those 3 phone calls and you check it off. Fantastic. That's what you're supposed to do. But many of us put stuff on the plan, put stuff on the to-do list, put stuff in the diary or the agenda or whatever it is we use. And then we get distracted and we don't do it. The ability to be able to say no to that which is unimportant and yes to that which is on your planner and which you have planned and which is your goal and which is your time that you're going to spend, that is what's important. And so many times what I would do is I would plan things out when I used to work in corporate America, and I would put down in my planner what I was going to do. People would come to me and say, hey, Peter, can you come and help out on this? Or can you come and help out on that? And I would say, let me check. Always I would say, let me check. Even if I really wanted to do something, I would say, let me check. I go to the planner, and if the time is committed to something else, I would either say no, or I would say, let me move this in my planner first, and then move that commitment that's in the planner. I personally use Google Calendar, so I'd move it from my Google Calendar to another date and another time, and then I would help that person out. But that's my choice. But I haven't let go of that. I haven't bypassed it. I haven't looked it. And if we don't take that step, if we don't manage our time like that accordingly, and ourselves like that accordingly, then what happens? We help the other person out, and what was originally planned slips by the way, and then we fall behind. And speaking of people coming up to me, the third step is actually minimize distractions. We have to minimize those distractions, and they are all over the place. I could probably sit down and make a list and make an hour thing on an hour presentation on the distractions that I get, but it's not about me, it's about you, and what are the distractions that you get. And you have to take responsibility for those and say, yes, I go down the rabbit hole of Facebook. Yes, I binge on Netflix. Yes, I avoid making phone calls, or I always answer people. I have an open door policy and I always answer people. A good open door policy means that you're available, but you're not available on their terms, you're available on your terms. And if you have a meeting with someone, then you close the door. You still have an open door policy, but you close the door because of your open door policy. You have committed that time to another person. And it's the same when you're on the phone. I worked for a boss once, and he had an open door policy. And if I was in there and I committed a half-hour appointment, time of appointment with him to look at something or to go over something, a plan, and anyone who, every time the phone rang, he picked it up. Anyone who came to the door and popped their head in, he gave them the attention. And I would be sitting there, so I was getting short shrift. I now became second player, second fiddle. So what I did was to get his attention. I became the distraction. Now, I don't think this is the way to go. I don't think it's the best thing to do. It suited me at that time. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I will say it was effective. And so I minimized his distractions so I could get my time with him. And that was important to me. And we've got to practice also, number 4 is mindfulness techniques. We got to do things like meditation. I used to think meditation was woo-woo and for, soft people, or I don't know, I can't even think of the words. It just wasn't in my realm 25 years ago. But as I learned more about it and I practice it more myself, that now it's so important to me. It makes such a difference. It helps alleviate a lot of the stress by practicing breathing and letting things go from your brain, and learn how to let things go from your brain. You get rid of that peanut butter, that mud, that squishiness, that overload, that entanglement that's in there that can drive you nuts and give you so much stress sometimes. It's unbelievable. So practice mindfulness. And it's not easy at first. I would sit there and my first time I tried, they would say, clear your mind. So I would clear my mind. But I wouldn't clear my mind. That was my intention, to clear my mind. And then thoughts would come in. And then I learned just to be with them, and the thoughts come and the thoughts go, and just clear your mind. And it's never completely blank. But I learned not to get attached to the thoughts, so they can drift by, they can come and they can go. And then I also listen to meditation. There's plenty of meditations to listen to on YouTube for free, or subliminal recordings, or hypnosis to take you down and just relax you and clear your brain while you're focused on whatever they're guiding you through. And the more you do those things, the more now you can start focusing on your business and coming into focus with all of the things that you do. The last one is really, really, really important to me, and it's something I've practiced all the time. I never told people I practiced this when I worked for companies, because they would comment on it in a negative way, but it's take time to sharpen the axe. Take regular breaks, self-care for yourself, put yourself first. So yes, you do the job, but when you get busy, take a breather, go for a coffee, go for a walk, go sit in your car and read a couple of pages of a book, do something, and you will become more productive when you look after and treat yourself. So instead of at the end of the day saying, I gave myself to everybody, I looked after the kids, I looked after the spouse, the family, the whatever, I did all this for them at work, and here I am and I've still got things on my to-do list. No, stop it. Make you the priority on the to-do list. On the plane, if there's an emergency, they say the gas masks will come down. Make sure you put the oxygen gas masks, the oxygen mask. What am I thinking? The oxygen mask will come down, and put it on yourself first, and then look after your family and your children. Who would want to do themselves first when their children are in danger? But that's what it takes. If you don't look after yourself, how can you look after your children on the plane? And the same with the business. If you don't look after yourself, you're going to suffer. Consequently, your business is going to suffer. And that's just the way it is. So you've got to make that decision. But I strongly recommend taking personal breaks, self-care, whatever it is. Go for a cup of coffee somewhere, go for a walk, go and visit someone you can chat to, go on FaceTime your cousin or your friend or your parents or whatever. So the mastering focus in small business world is something that requires commitment and it requires practice. But if you implement these 5 keys to success that I have shared with you, the clear goal setting, the effective time management, minimizing distractions, practicing the mindfulness and prioritizing breaks and self-care and looking after yourself first, then you can empower yourself to navigate the challenges of entrepreneurship and give unwavering attention to that which it is you're working on. So cultivate your focus, work on it consistently, and you'll find yourself making more informed decisions, achieving your goals efficiently, and driving your small business toward a future of success. So those are the 5 things. Now go and be the best you can be. Smile as often as you can and treat other people the way you would like to be treated.